Am I nuts? Am I nuts about Brian Kelly?
I don't think you're nuts. I think it just depends on what he wants, right? Because he's kind of earned that right to do what he wants. But you're getting to a point where you start to question where the ceiling is at with Notre Dame.
I think they've hit it. Am I nuts?
Maybe not. You know, I mean, being within 6 on the last possession at Georgia.
That's as good as you're going to do.
Maybe, but I think that's top end. I mean, look at this year, right? I think that this year we're as deep as we have been in a long time in college football, I'm saying, in kind of the royal we, in terms of national title contenders. And I don't think that they're going to have the resume to get in because of that loss to Georgia. But if you put every team on a neutral, I think Notre Dame's right there with everybody. So maybe he is more in line with, hey, I want to finish this thing. I want to win a championship at Notre Dame.
That's not realistic. I don't think that's realistic. I think for a private school coach with tougher than average academic standards, winning 13 games, tip of the cap.
Sure.
That is, I'll defend Brian, and I'm not trying to disrupt Notre Dame. They're going to win this weekend by 2 touchdowns. I'm not worried about that. My point is, though, I look at this weekend's game, Notre Dame, USC. We know USC is going to have a new coach in 3 months. Okay, let's get past that. I think Brian Kelly, I would look at the NFL right now and say, I got a chance now with all these college concepts going pro. This is the time for me to move.
No, now you have to wonder, and this is not a knock against Brian. I think Brian's a wonderful coach.
Yes.
I really do. And he's done a marvelous job at Notre Dame, and I think they're one of the best teams in the country right now. Having said that, let's say you're Atlanta. You said the Atlanta opening, right? Let's say you're the Falcons. You have Matt Ryan. Just sake of argument, do you target Brian Kelly or Lincoln Riley more?
Lincoln Riley's not leaving Oklahoma. He's like 17 years old. Brian Kelly's getting up there. Well, I mean, Brian Kelly's like Brian Kelly.
I love that.
And I know 2 years ago, Brian Kelly had his agent sniff in the NFL, but the timing wasn't right. So I'm Brian Kelly, and I'm sitting there thinking, I win 13 games at Notre Dame. They're now taking all my college concepts. I can just take these things right to the NFL. I get a franchise quarterback. By the way, if
maybe it is time.
Freddie Kitchens doesn't work. I'd call Brian Kelly in 2 seconds with Baker Mayfield.
I don't wish that on Notre Dame because they've got a really good thing going right now. I love Notre Dame standing right there. And you will say this, and I've defended the guys who decide to stay in college. I don't think it's a no-brainer that you need to go to the NFL. Right? If Brian Kelly wants to stay at Notre Dame, let's say he doesn't win a title.
Yeah.
Well, he can stay there for 8 years, 10 years, and you can make a heck of a lot of money doing that at the college level. You are your own GM, right? You are the dictator
but you got to deal
room.
with the AD and the boosters and all that nonsense and recruiting.
I'm just saying that I think that it's not a no-brainer that these guys are all going to just jump to the NFL to deal with a GM and deal with an owner and deal with the guys making money out there and start their clock. Because remember, if you don't win in the NFL, you're going to be out in 3 years. Ask Chip Kelly. If push came to shove and you said, Chip, go back to your decision to leave Oregon, was it the best decision?
Not great.
Okay, so there you go. Right. So there's just an argument for staying in college.
Here's Klatt's top 10, by the way. Ohio State, LSU, Bama, Oklahoma, Georgia, Clemson, Wisconsin, Texas, Notre Dame, Florida. So Texas, Oklahoma, pretty close, but the line's 11, meaning Vegas thinks it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah,
Do you?
I don't understand that line. I got to be honest. First of all, you look at the history of this game, it's closer than whatever they're ranked.
And there's been a lot of
upsets. There's been some upsets in this game, in particular the Texas side, upsetting Oklahoma. Look at Todd Orlando, the defensive coordinator for Texas, and Tom Herman, and their success against Oklahoma. Since Lincoln Riley has gotten to Oklahoma, they have lost to virtually no one. Twice. Houston with Herman and Todd Orlando, and last year in the Cotton Bowl. So these guys have gotten Oklahoma twice. Ellinger is a terrific player.
He's a terrific player.
And quite frankly, Texas is kind of the more physical team. And you get into these rivalry games, and if you can establish the run and you can stop the run on the other side, you've got a great chance. I thought that line was crazy. I think Oklahoma could win this game. I think Texas could win this game. I think it's going to be a great down-to-the-wire game. I'll be shocked if this is not a one-score game late.
But, it's really interesting on this Ellinger, this quarterback for Texas, who has some real Tebow qualities as a leader. It's funny. I initially looked at him, and I thought, no, he's not an NFL guy. He's just a good college college guy. I wonder if he could play on Sundays.
I think he can, and one of the things that he doesn't get enough credit for is his ability to throw the ball down the field. You're seeing some of the highlights right now. He actually throws the ball better outside of the numbers than most people give him credit for. He's a great back shoulder thrower. Devin Duvernay, their slot receiver, has done a heck of a job for them. He's got tall wide receivers on the outside. Colin Johnson, he's getting back this week. Ellinger does not get the credit as a thrower he deserves. He doesn't get the credit in the Heisman race that he deserves. This guy is one of the best players in the entire country. Oklahoma knows it because Ellinger was great last year against them. He threw for over 300 yards in this game. In every single game this year, he's had at least 3 total touchdowns.
Yeah, he throws a good. I got to tell you, when I watch him play, he's a playmaker. I like him. I think he looks a little small, but Kyler Murray's 5'7.5", 5'9.5". He won last weekend. I think the guy looks like an NFL quarterback.
When I say this, I have to preface it by saying I think Tim Tebow is one of the top 3 or 4 college players I ever saw.
Yeah, agree.
Everything taken into consideration, leadership, running ability, everything.
Ellinger's better.
Ellinger is a much better thrower of the football.
Oh, God, not even close.
Not even close. And I've said that, and people say, oh, it's a knock on Tim. It's not a knock on Tim. It's just
so I'm going to throw this at you.
Throw away.
Okay. So I don't know if you can wrap your brain around this. It's pretty high-end.
We'll see.
It's a very high-end concept.
I'm just a dumb jock.
Yeah. So most of the time, you play college football.
Okay.
And you have a coach, ball coach. Then you go to the NFL, and the NFL coach is way better. You're getting an older coach.
I disagree with that.
Well, just try to stay with my premise.
Okay.
So there are exceptions that Nick Saban may be, along with Belichick, the best secondary coach that's ever lived.
Okay.
So his corners go to the NFL, and they're not usually very good because they don't get the coaching, and he squeezed every ounce of juice out of that orange, right? So Lincoln Riley, Baker Mayfield is regressing.
Oh, here we go.
No. His mechanics are regressing. His accuracy has gone from 64 to 56. That's with added weapons. I'm just telling you, the further he gets away from Lincoln Riley, I saw this with Jeff Tedford in college. You're going to tell me Freddie Kitchens is as good as Lincoln Riley?
No, Freddie Kitchens is not as good.
Baker Mayfield's regressing.
He is regressing, and I think it's twofold, okay?
Okay.
There is some truth to what you're talking about, and Freddie is not providing the type of wins on the outside that Baker was accustomed to in college. And this is something that all of us said when he was coming out of college, is that Lincoln did an unbelievable job of getting guys wide open. And the same could be said for Kyler Murray. The same can be said for Jalen Hurts.
No,
okay,
you make a good point.
Is incredible at doing that. So you have to make more tight window throws at the next level than what you do at Oklahoma for Lincoln Riley, in part because he's such a great play caller. And then the other side of that is, you had a great offensive line. 4 of those guys that Mayfield played behind were going to the NFL.
I think Baltimore's got half of them.
Yeah, Baltimore has a bunch of them. 4 of them got drafted last year who were in front of Murray. And Baker's offensive line, Cleveland's offensive line is awful. So when you couple the fact that you're going to be asked to do something that is much more tedious, which is make tighter window throws on time, which he can. He's got the talent to do that. And then I think that the pass rush is getting into his head. He's pulling the ball down a lot sooner than he used to. He's worried or aware of the rush much more than he used to be.
Yeah, when you get hit, you start being aware of it.
Exactly. And part of this is the fact that they just don't protect him at all. And that's not an excuse for Baker. He's played, in particular, Monday night, he played awful. He absolutely played awful. One of the things that he never did in college, and he got away with it, is he never had to step up in the pocket. Every quarterback's first move, unless they are going to escape, has got to be up in the pocket, because that's how the pocket is made. That's what the offensive line is expecting at the next level, and that's what Baker is not doing right now. Right now, all he does is he kind of stops, and then he moves right or left, and that's what he's getting himself into some trouble. But the offensive line has been terrible, and you do have some truth to your statement. I wrapped my brain around it.
Yeah,
I heard what you said. I wrapped my brain around it.
Not just breaking down running plays here. It's a big concept.
And there was some truth to it, yes.
Yeah. We're kind of a high-end show here.
I think that there's more quality coaches at the college level than the NFL level. There is. There absolutely is. When you encapsulate like development, creativity, when you talk about evolving the game forward.
Well, yeah, I think they take more chances at the college level. It is clever. It's a clever game. It's fun.
Clever, interesting. I think that's an interesting word. When I go around. The NFL is a revolving door of the exact same guys, and they don't develop anybody. You look at all the fired staffs, guess what they do? They just go put on different hats the next year. and different windbreakers. You go to the Senior Bowl, and I go every single year to the Senior Bowl down in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
Guess what I see? The exact same guys in different logos. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. By the way, I just want you, we have the Brian Kelly, Lincoln Riley thing, and I don't want you, a lot of times you avoid the tough topics.
Oh, I do. Interesting.
Okay. So right now, I don't want none of this like, well, let me think about it. Let me bake on it. I'm going to hold you accountable. Some show has to. Okay. No,
spit it out. Let's go.
No qualifying on this. Best coach in college football.
Right now?
Yes.
Nick Saban.
Okay. 2.
Dabo Swinney.
3.
Lincoln Riley.
4.
Ryan Day.
Oh, give me a break. He's been there an hour and a half. Brian Kelly.
You ask for answers, you get answers. Quit complaining.
Brian Day.
No, it's not Brian. It's Ryan.
Ryan Day.
Ryan.
You don't have Brian Kelly ahead of... You think that today...
You didn't ask me for my next one.
No. Today, you have Ryan... Whatever.
Day.
Ahead of Brian Kelly.
Well, they have the best team in the country right now.
That's Urban's. Urban did that.
I mean...
How many players did he recruit?
I love Urban, but he didn't put that product on the field.
Oh, he won 24 of his first 25 games. Well, did your TV not work for that one, too? I'm giving you high-end concepts here. I'm not sure...
You didn't. First of all, you did not extend the list. My next guy was going to be Brian Kelly.
Who's 6?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably Tom Herman.
Okay.
And then probably Kirby Smart. Like, that's when you get to, like, the Kirby Smart, Tom Herman.
You know what you like? You like flashy guys.
James Franklin.
You know
would
what
be
I
right
like?
in there.
I
What
like
do you
Brian
like?
Kelly. He's a
Do
Milwaukee cop. I'm grounded.
Oh, you're grounded.
And the other guy I like is the guy at Wisconsin. They got no players in that state. Paul Chryst, who wears sweatshirts to a wedding. You ever notice I like the salt of the earth guys? You're all there up there with the good-looking guys. I got nothing but salt of the earth.
Here's what your viewers don't understand, whether they're listening or even watching right now on FS1 because you're behind your big desk right now. This guy's talking about being salt of the earth.
Yeah.
He's got shoes right now that cost... Joy, how much do those Goose shoes cost?
He does have expensive shoes on, but also Colin does not believe in sweatpants.
Oh, and you don't believe in sweatpants.
No. When I get home, I am...
Joy, do you know how much those shoes cost?
I don't.
Top of your head, I believe they're well over $500.
I'm gonna guess they're around $500,
and they're one of these things you can put them out there. Walk out here, show everybody.
He does wear them a lot, so it's not like
it looks like he wears them a lot because they're one of these brands that's supposed to be like, oh, they're worn in when you buy them. It's like buying ripped jeans for $1,000, Mr. Salt of the Earth.
I don't buy my shoes. My tailor does. Whoa!
Oh!
Joking. You can't joke anymore in America.
Do you get your sweatpants tailored?
All right, I got to get out of here. Joe Klatt. The game is Texas-Oklahoma. I'm not going to ask you who's going to win. I like Oklahoma, but I think it's pretty close. It's a great rivalry.
I'm not going to tell you who's going to win.
All right, it's good seeing you.
You too.
It's good seeing you.
Watch out for Texas Tech this week.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.